Benda BD 500 Black Flag, cruiser heavier than the LFC 700. A black flag is a sign of not so good things, but this hasn't stopped Chinese motorcycle manufacturer Benda from calling its newest cruiser the Black Flag. Being waved a black flag while out on track means you're being directed to head back to the pit due to a safety infraction or an issue with your vehicle. Meanwhile, out on the open sea, seeing a ship with a black flag heading your way could very well mean your days are numbered. I get it, Benda's trying to be cool by adopting what it thinks is a badass naming convention, so instead of nitpicking at the cruiser's name, let's just talk about its specs. It's really interesting that Benda has opted for such a strange engine configuration on a cruiser, as small V4 engines have been found on sport bikes in the past. It's unlike any other cruiser in the market right now, as it has a V4 engine. Not just any V4 engine, though, but a 500 cubic centimeters V4. More specifically, the engine is a 496 cubic centimeters, liquid-cooled, fuel injection V4 with a maximum power output of 56.3 horsepower and 31.5 ft-lbs of torque. It gets a low seat height, wide handlebar, and forward controls. Up front, a slender circular headlight gives the bike a clean aesthetic. The bike breathes through twin mufflers and rolls on alloy wheels. As for features, it gets a semi-digital instrument cluster, cruise control, and even air suspension. It sends the power to the rear wheel via a 6-speed manual transmission. While the performance numbers may seem pretty impressive, don't expect the BD 500 Black Flag to be particularly fast, as it tips the scales at a whopping 241 kilograms. The BD 500 is a proper muscular, American cruiser style in design, and its 1,575mm wheelbase and the fat 150/80R 16-section rear tire will certainly help it establish that identity even more. It's strikingly beautiful and thankfully isn't opting for an in-your-face retro theme. It gets LED lighting but also gets a semi-digital instrument cluster for that hint of old school. What we find most attractive are those twin, flat exhaust pipes, which gives it a rather sexy appeal. What's even more interesting is its cylinder deactivation tech designed to improve fuel efficiency. Of course, front and rear ABS come as standard. Benda is throwing in features like air suspension, cruise control, and cylinder deactivation on the BD 500, but the takeaway from this motorcycle is that small capacity V4 engine will now make its way onto different models across Benda's lineup, which should liven things up. As for pricing and availability, this is where things get a bit murky. Benda has yet to announce the official pricing of the BD 500 Black Flag, plus, it's expected to be an exclusively Chinese production model. It's unlikely that we will see the BD 500 make its way to Indian shores, but the Benda Fox 300 has been rebadged, and is being retailed by Keyway as the V302C cruiser in India. A black flag isn't something that's particularly exciting, especially if you're into racing. Style-wise, the BD 500 black flag isn't particularly outstanding. It takes some neo-retro design cues, and is clearly inspired by its Western counterparts. It looks like Chinese bike maker Benda is looking to challenge the status quo on the traditional V4 market space with the BD 500 black flag, its newest cruiser showcased recently at China International Motorcycle Trade Exhibition.